So if any of you guys participated in our Fit to Feast challenge over the fall, it was highly successful. It was also much more geared to body fat loss, body composition goals, that sort of thing. What we wanted to do with the Winter Soldier Challenge was a lot more aligned with building the right habits, getting away from focusing on weight loss and body fat loss. I know some of you, those are still goals and we should still go after them, but that's not going to be the sole focus of this challenge. This one, it's going to be much more geared to building the right habits that are going to act as the big domino so that when we get into the spring, we'll probably do another big push for a more of a traditional fat loss, transformation, body comp challenge. This one is like, dude, let's set the stage right now in the winter when no one really wants to get outside and do a whole lot. And let's just focus on the core habits, specifically the walking and the training. And on top of that, being 100% compliant to those two things and just establishing that is like those two core habits are the habits that we're going to install in the first 2 months of 2026 and ideally carry through the rest of the year. So that's kind of like the impetus behind, hey, why are we doing a challenge that we're only truly focused on steps in training? And then the other kind of side benefit is just really getting comfortable with using the KT app. You know, we've had a lot of guys over the years, they express this desire to have, I want to be held accountable, right? The only true way for your coach to hold any one person accountable is for your coach to know exactly what's going on, right? So really understanding that any wearable tech, it's only as good, it's connected to your KT app, your coach understands what's going on, and they can give you real-time feedback on what the data is that they are seeing so that they can give you insightful insights into what things you might need to tweak or change, stop doing or start doing, right? So those are the big key drivers behind this whole thing. It's the walking, it's the training, and then it's just making sure those things are being plugged into the app regularly so that your coach can give you good real-time feedback so that you can make the right changes when you need to make them to continue to drive change. So that's what we're trying to do. This challenge is short, guys. It's only 41 days. It's going from Monday, January 12th. That's this coming Monday. It's going all the way through Sunday, February 22nd. So that's only 6 weeks. However, in those 6 weeks, you only win this challenge if you hit every single one of your workouts throughout the entire 6-week challenge. So that means you got to do 4 workouts a week. You can't do 3 and then make up for it 5 the next week. It has to be, dude, you got to figure out with the travel, with being sick, with all the other shit that's going on, how am I going to get these 4 workouts in, right? That's part of the challenge here, right? So there's no wiggle room on that. And then it's 10,000 steps. Now, with the 10,000 steps, I'll allude to it a little bit here. We do have a little redeemer for the 10K steps. I'll get to that in a minute. But that's the daily goal, 10,000 steps every day, which is going to be, you know, for some of us a little bit tricky, especially when we are so reduced by just daylight. And then accuracy in the app. None of this stuff counts unless it's in the app. So we can't go by, you know, word of mouth or, you know, the feel good system. Now, if you have a major discrepancy on whatever tracker that you're using, you're simply going to take a screenshot, take a picture of it, send it to your coach. You know, we'll make sure that it's good, right? So for whatever reason, if you're like, dude, I did the thing, but it didn't check off in the app for whatever reason, just take a quick screenshot of it, send it to your coach. We'll make sure that you're good. There's going to be 3 types of prizes here. First prize, individual prize. If you hit 100% accuracy on your steps and your workouts and it's tracked in the app, everybody's going to get a badass Winter Soldier shirt at the end of the challenge. There's also going to be a team prize. And then like our fall challenge, we're going to be doing weekly raffles for KT swag as well. Why lock in now? So I had a little chat with my chat GPT. I said, why chat GPT, why is this important to do right now? We went back and forth a couple times, but these are definitely some of the things that I would hammer down on as well as my chat. You're getting back to your regular routines. A lot of times through the holidays, we got a lot of stuff going on. We're traveling. We're committed to different social parties and stuff just kind of throwing us off of our regular routines. Once you kind of get post-holiday season, it's a lot easier to kind of get back into the flow. So it's really, it can be very conducive to establishing some great habits right now before things kind of get crazy again. Which kind of leads into the calmer environment, right? So when we have more of a regular routine, our environment is a little bit calmer. When things are calmer, there's less distractions. Sometimes it's just easier to, again, establish the things that we're trying to continue to build. Number three, not a whole lot of guys talk about this. I know this has been talked about more and more. Mental health. Man, this is a really big thing. I know a lot of guys struggle with seasonal depression. Getting out of the house and just getting some fresh air, going for a walk, that can work wonders. I know it sounds kind of silly, but it's true. Like sometimes going for a walk can fix so many things. So I love the idea that we're kind of pairing some of these physical things with also some mental health related things as well. And then basic immunity. Like when we are active, when we're training, when we're moving, our body is going to work at a higher capacity, which ends up leading into ideally getting less sick or at least decreasing the severity of your sickness. So being active, being healthy, we know this improves immunity. Moving on, 4 main things. Like we talked about, and I'm going to say this a lot, right? Because there's not a whole lot to this challenge, but there are a couple important bits. We got to track things in the app. So we're tracking our steps. We are tracking our training in the app. If you are having any issues with any of your wearable tech, go directly to your coach. Let your coach help you kind of work through what's going on there. Everybody's going to be continuing to follow their own KT plan, right? So whatever KT training plan that you are on, you're going to follow that one. Now, I know we are going to have some of you that might be in a deload week. Traditionally, when we are in a deload week, you're going to only have 3 workouts in your KT app. That's fine. So however many workouts that you have in your program for that week, that's what you're going to be asked to do. I know some of you might be brand new into KT. Maybe you just came in the last week or so. You might potentially be onboarding for the first week of that challenge. That's okay. You're still going to be required to hit your steps for each of those days, but you'll be exempt from the workouts until you are on week 1, day 1, where you have workouts in your calendar. Then you'll be on the clock. On Fridays, we're going to have some really cool calls. So each Friday, I've paired each coach up with another coach, and we're going to have a really cool framework of a call with 2 head coaches on the call with one particular topic, generally around themes that have to do with this challenge. But it'll be a great time for you to connect with the other guys who are doing the Winter Soldier Challenge, as well as maybe a couple coaches that you've never really communicated with before, which can be really cool, right? Because all of us, we all have kind of like our own personal biases and around training and nutrition. Sure, we all follow the KT roadmap, but sometimes it's just great to get a different perspective from a different coach, because they might have a different thought than your current coach. So I love for you to have that opportunity to ask questions for another coach. If you were curious about just another second opinion on whether it's a training related thing, a habit related thing, a nutrition related thing. So those are going to happen on Fridays. Fridays, dual head coach calls. Definitely show up to those. They will be high value add. And then, like always, in true KT spirit, man, we're going to connect. We're going to celebrate as one tribe, and we're going to build habits that will drive massive transformations going forward. And again, that's the ultimate goal. So when you guys are here, what we know is when you are in KT and you are participating in the community and you are doing your workouts and you are checking in with your coach and you're doing your steps, man, a lot of really good things happen. So we really feel strongly that just by doing the thing, establishing the habits, building this framework around becoming healthier and stronger, it just leads to really powerful and impactful outcomes. So that's why we're doing this whole thing. And to also, kind of gamify it a little bit. Make it kind of fun, make it interesting. We are going to have team scorecards each week, right? So you'll be able to see your team relative to the other teams. And this is a way to kind of fire each other up a little bit, kind of see where you rank in terms of a team, in terms of overall compliance. If we were to have a tie for two teams, we would go to total steps. So total steps would be the tiebreaker. So if you have it in you to go beyond your 10,000 steps for the day, by doing more, you would be positively benefiting your team if your team were to end up in a tie at the end of the challenge. So everybody who participates, you are getting a badass Winter Soldier shirt. Again, that's 100% compliance. All right, so you got to hit your 10K steps. You have to hit your workouts that are in your app every week of all 6 weeks to earn it. Now, here was that little wrinkle that I talked about in the very beginning. If you were to miss a 10,000 step day in any week, you can redeem yourself by hitting a 20,000 step day in the same week. If you're with me on that, drop a 1 in the chat. Drop a 1 in the chat if you got that, all right? So if you miss your 10,000 steps, you redeem yourself by doing a 20,000 step day. So don't miss unless you really want to get out there freaking walking, because 20,000 steps is no joke. Like, you actually got to go out and do that. I think most of you, if you're relatively just active and moving around, 10,000 steps honestly isn't that bad. But 20,000, that'll get you. Winning team. So the winning team with the most amount of guys that achieved 100% consistency is going to win the prize. It's going to be a badass trophy. Put it on your desk. Winter Soldier 2026. And then, like I said in our last challenge, we are going to have weekly raffle winners. So we're going to be dishing out some swag every single week. So as long as you are hitting your daily step goal and you are doing your workouts, you are going to be eligible into the raffle. And I will do a raffle at the end of the week and pick a winner. And it'll be some cool swag from the KT shop.
Awesome.
All right, so what do you need? You need your step tracker. So a watch, a Fitbit, a ring. Almost any wearable tech works, especially if you have an iPhone. We've had some issues with other devices like Samsung and Google devices, but as long as you have your wearable tech connect through Apple Health or Google Health or Samsung Health, if you have that connection open, you should be able to link that to your KT app. You just might need to go into your settings, make sure that the Google Health or the Apple Health is connected, and there's a little button that does say sync now. So make sure that you sync it if you haven't yet, and make sure you have all the permissions open on all 3 of those things, right? So you're going to need the permissions open on whatever wearable tech app that you have, with the health app, and then with the KT app. So it's a little bit tricky, but I think most of you are smart, intelligent men. A little bit of poking around, you should be able to figure it out. If you have an issue, go to your coach first, then come to me. You got your KT plan, so that should already be loaded up in there. And then obviously you got to have the effort. Okay, you got to show up. Even better if you come on to the calls on Fridays to get some support there from the team, and just connect and just be part of the organization, the community, and the group, which is the point of this whole thing. Stick to the protocol, track your metrics, plan and prepare, plan and prepare, plan and prepare. I said it 3 times. Plan and preparation, that's probably one of the biggest keys to success out of as long as I've been coaching guys, and I know my other coaches would echo this as well. Man, when you show up and you're already prepared and you have that plan already established, things get really easy. You might have noticed just by doing the KT workouts, you look at your app, you see what workout you have for the day, and you just do that thing. You don't do more, you don't do less, you just do what's on there. If you can kind of get into that with walking and with your nutrition, you kind of reduce all the decision making around what should I be doing or eating, or you just show up and you just do the thing that you've already planned and prepared for. Anything else would cost you more time, energy, or money than that thing. I've had a lot of guys over the years say, Rich, I want to add running, I want to add rowing, cycling, you name the aerobic activity. I would highly recommend you take the time that you are about to put into any more aerobics and invest that back into your food planning, food preparation, that type of thing. Your ROI on that will be 10x whatever you put into a little bit of extra cardio on top of what you're already doing in this program. Get some sleep. Get some sleep. Makes it a lot easier to adhere to anything that you're doing health related wise when you're not exhausted. If you're focused on getting more sleep, one of the easiest things that you can do is focus on bedtime. So look at what's happening before bed, understanding what time do I need to have lights out, and then working backwards from there, right? So it's like, dude, if I need 7 hours of sleep, that means I need to be knocked out by 10. Well, by 9 p.m., you should be beginning that wind down routine. That way, when 10 p.m. hits, like you are ready to go and shut the light off and go to sleep. Visualize success. Keep a feedback loop open with your coach. Really important. Again, your coach is there to help and guide and support and ideally give you some really insightful feedback about what the data is going on. But again, they can only do that if they know and they have accurate data that they're looking at. So if you want to extract the absolute most value out of your coach, give your coach accurate, up-to-date data. You'll get a great outcome. You'll have some fun. And you'll learn some things, mostly about yourself, which is really cool. I think that's all I got. Oh, and then some shirtless men here. So make sure your tech is set up. Step tracker is connected to the KT app. Punch in your calendars. I should have added meal prepping and meal planning as well, but I'm not going to for this one. But definitely pencil in time to train, time to walk, time to do the thing. And so make some time to be able to get this done. All right. That is all I have prepared for you guys today. Coaches, anything you'd like to share? Any last tips of guidance for our men here who are about to embark on the Winter Soldier? Ray, I'm looking at you.
Why do I always have to drop the gems? That's what I want to know.
You're a former Marine, Ray.
Yeah.
Come on. You're a soldier.
I mean, this is a full on straight up just stacking momentum kind of challenge, right? So we all have the same 24 hours in a day. You're not gonna have the time. You gotta make the time. You gotta build it into the schedule and just make it non-negotiable. Make it the priority. And I know that sounds tough when you have a career and when you have a family, but it's 6 weeks, right? You can make those compromises, you can make those sacrifices, and I promise if you put in the discipline into bettering yourself, you're going to level up as a father. You're going to level up as a professional. It's just going to enhance every other aspect of your life. So it's investing in yourself to better serve the people around you. That's kind of how I always spin it. So if you don't have the time, make the time and just make it non-negotiable. Get after it.
Make the time. Make the time. Make it a priority.
Hell yeah.
We all have time. But what are we prioritizing in our life?
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes you got to do a little self-audit of your time. How am I spending my time? Sometimes it's more of a matter of something needs to go. I actually can't add a new thing. I need to remove some things first. Hell yeah. Coaches, any last words? Any last parting advice?
I like how you repeated get sleep 2 or 3 times, because working out, walking, those are all sympathetic, go, exert energy, but also we need that parasympathetic as well. The rest, digest. It's where we rebuild. It's where we kind of decompress. It's where we really extract a lot of building from the work we're putting in. So it's equal parts.
Parts. Equal
That's where the
parts.
change manifests.
Equal parts. We have rest, we have hydration, we have nutrition. You know, think of those as like what you're using to help your body recover, right? And then you're thinking about walking, and your training is what you're using to build. It's like how are we using these different tools in our toolbox? All right. Good stuff, gentlemen. I'm excited for everyone to work hard, to hit the step goals, hit your training goals. And I'm very curious to see how many men can finish this challenge with 100% compliance. That'll be really badass if we get a whole bunch of guys at the end of this thing that have not missed. That'll be a proud moment for all of us on the team. All right, y'all. So our first call will be next Friday. You'll see that in the school, kind of how you saw this one. And if you have any questions, you can come to myself or come to your coach directly, and we will rock and roll. All righty?
All righty.
All righty, man.
Thanks, Rich.
Have a great Friday. Thank you.
Bye.
See you
Get her
guys.
done.
Rock on, boys.
See you.